Are you tired of letting disrespect define your worth? In this video, we're diving deep into the powerful practice of self-respect. You'll discover how to stay grounded in your identity, even when others try to bring you down. Learn how choosing your battles wisely can protect your emotional well-being, help you reclaim your energy, and ultimately lead you to healthier, more fulfilling relationships. This isn't just about avoiding conflict, but mastering the art of responding with strength and grace. By the end of this video, you'll be empowered to rise above negativity and embrace your inner strength. Stay tuned, because your journey to self-respect starts now. Don't miss out. Your peace of mind is worth it. Before we start, I'd appreciate your support. If you like the video, please subscribe and hit the bell to stay updated on future lessons from God. The power of restraint is an extraordinary and often overlooked strength, one that is too easily misunderstood as a sign of weakness when, in fact, it embodies the pinnacle of inner fortitude. It demands a level of self-control so profound that it is almost invisible to those who lack the depth to recognize it. In a world constantly teetering on the edge of emotional chaos, where passions surge unchecked and reactions are impulsive, the quiet strength of restraint becomes a rare and invaluable gift. It is not a mere act of withholding but an art, a courageous commitment to maintaining composure, no matter how fierce the storm of provocation may be. Restraint is far more than simply holding back. It is an act of profound self-mastery. It is the ability to pause, to breathe deeply, and to reflect, rather than to be swept away by the tide of raw emotion. In those moments when insults fly, when harsh words are flung like stones, and when the sting of disrespect threatens to engulf us, the desire to retaliate burns like a fire within. Our pride, our very sense of self-worth, cries out for justice, for recognition, for respect. Every instinct within us urges us to strike back, to defend our honor, to assert our boundaries. This impulse is as old as humanity itself, rooted deeply in our need for validation and dignity. Yet, when we choose to act on these emotions impulsively, we often sacrifice something far more precious: our peace of mind, our clarity, and ultimately our integrity. In that crucial moment of choice, restraint offers us the most powerful opportunity for growth. By withholding that first furious response, we take back control from the very person who sought to diminish us. They may have thrown the stone, but we choose whether to catch it or to let it fall. This is the true strength of restraint, the ability to not let anyone else dictate how we will respond. We are not puppets, pulled along by the strings of anger or hurt. True power is in the stillness, in the courage to remain calm while the storm rages around us. It is in realizing that not every insult, every slight, every insult, demands a reaction. Sometimes, silence is the most eloquent answer we can give. When we practice restraint, we show the world, and ourselves, that we are unshaken. We are rooted in the knowledge that our worth is not determined by the opinions of others, and that we do not need to seek validation through conflict or confrontation. We do not ignore the disrespect, but we choose a path that is higher, wiser, and more thoughtful. In these moments, restraint is not a sign of submission. It is an act of sovereignty, a declaration that we are the masters of our responses. We understand that reacting hastily often leads to regret and unnecessary turmoil. By holding back, we gain the clarity to assess the situation with a clear mind, to choose our actions with intention, and to rise above the petty exchanges that so often mire us in bitterness and strife. Restraint is not a weakness. It is strength in its purest, most refined form. It is the courage to stay true to our values, even when the world urges us to lose ourselves in the heat of the moment. It is the grace of knowing that, at the end of the day, our reactions are our own, and that true peace lies in the ability to choose them wisely. Restraint is not only a powerful tool for personal growth, but it also offers a distinct advantage in the intricate web of social dynamics. When someone disrespects you, they often do so with the expectation of triggering a particular reaction: a sharp retort, a defensive posture, or an emotional outburst. They're seeking to provoke a response, to see you falter and lose your composure. But by choosing to remain calm, unshaken, and composed in the face of their provocation, you disrupt their carefully crafted script. In doing so, you take control of the situation, defying their attempt to manipulate your emotions and turning the tables entirely. This act of restraint becomes a silent yet powerful weapon that disarms your opponent. They are left grappling with uncertainty, even frustration, as they realize they cannot provoke you into reacting. Your calmness becomes a mirror that reflects their agitation, a mirror they cannot control. Instead of engaging in a battle of words or emotions, you stand firm in your emotional sovereignty, unyielding to the forces attempting to drag you into the turmoil. This is not a victory through force or aggression, but through the sheer strength of your inner calm, the quiet confidence of someone who has mastered their emotions. However, achieving this level of self-discipline is not an effortless feat. It takes practice, dedication, and a deep understanding of oneself. For most people, the knee-jerk reaction to provocation is immediate and emotional. It's a natural response, a reflex that arises from our instinct to protect ourselves. But restraint demands that you pause, take a deep breath, and think before you act. It is the conscious decision to step back from the heat of the moment, to examine the situation with clarity and intentionality. It is the art of responding, not reacting. This practice of self-restraint doesn't happen overnight. It is cultivated slowly and deliberately over time. It requires you to develop self-awareness, to become attuned to your emotional landscape and recognize the subtle signs that anger, frustration, or hurt are beginning to rise. By tuning into these emotional cues, you can prevent them from controlling your actions and instead guide your response in a direction that aligns with your values and goals. This is the essence of emotional intelligence. The ability to understand not only your feelings but also the emotions at play in others. When someone acts out of anger, insecurity, or frustration, they may lash out in an attempt to release their inner tension. But by staying calm, you rob them of the opportunity to manipulate your emotions, and you prevent the situation from escalating further. The benefits of practicing restraint extend far beyond the immediate interaction. Over time, it leads to profound emotional and mental well-being. Constantly reacting to negativity, insults, or disrespect is draining. It keeps you locked in a cycle of defense, where your emotional state is constantly governed by the actions of others. But when you choose restraint, you take back control of your emotions. You stop allowing external forces to dictate how you feel, and instead, you build emotional resilience. You fortify yourself against the whims of others, becoming less vulnerable to their words and actions. As you continue to practice restraint, you will notice that what once angered or upset you no longer holds the same power. The insults, the jabs, the attempts to belittle, you'll find they no longer have the same weight. You become more centered, more composed, and less reactive to the things that once threatened your peace. This shift in mindset is transformative, leading to greater emotional stability and a deeper sense of personal strength. Ultimately, restraint is not a sign of weakness. It is a form of profound emotional wisdom. It demonstrates that you are aware of the emotions at play, not just your own, but those of the person trying to provoke you. By remaining calm in the face of their anger or insecurity, you protect your peace while preventing the situation from spiraling out of control. You become a force of stability in a world that often feels like it's on the brink of chaos, and through this steady composure, you gain an immeasurable sense of control over your emotional destiny. Emotional intelligence offers a profound ability to look beyond the immediate surface of an interaction, allowing you to understand the deeper, often unseen forces driving the disrespect. It enables you to recognize that the rude or hurtful words of others may stem from their pain, insecurities, or frustrations. With this insight, you can choose to respond with compassion and understanding, rather than simply reacting out of defensiveness. Even if you don't condone their behavior, you gain the wisdom to know that their disrespect likely reflects something far more complex. This deeper understanding allows you to maintain your integrity, avoiding the temptation to escalate the situation and instead choosing a response that doesn't add fuel to the fire. Such emotional intelligence has a powerful impact not only on the moment at hand but also on your reputation. Those who react impulsively, quick to anger or retaliation, often develop a reputation for being difficult to deal with, volatile, or unpredictable. In contrast, individuals who exercise self-control and grace under pressure are seen as steady, grounded, and reliable. They become the people others turn to in times of crisis, the ones who provide calm amidst chaos. These individuals exude quiet, powerful leadership, demonstrating through their actions that they are not easily rattled by life's challenges. Their ability to remain poised when emotions run high earns them not just respect, but admiration, as their presence becomes synonymous with stability and strength. By demonstrating restraint in the face of disrespect, you earn respect not only from the person who initially disrespected you but also from everyone who witnesses your composed response. They recognize the strength it takes to resist the urge to react impulsively, and they see you as someone who holds their emotions in check, someone who commands respect rather than demands it. Emotional intelligence plays a critical role in handling these moments with grace, as it empowers you to respond thoughtfully, rather than emotionally. Your ability to control your reactions speaks volumes about your character, and it influences the way others perceive and interact with you. When faced with belittlement or insult, the instinct to respond immediately is powerful. It's human nature to want to defend our dignity, to lash out when we feel wronged. However, how we choose to respond in such moments can have lasting repercussions, not only on our peace of mind but also on the relationships we build with others. Emotional control is the difference between a fleeting reaction and a lasting impression. By taking a moment to pause, assess the situation from a place of calm, and consider a response that reflects your values, you create the space necessary to respond with intention, not just impulse. This is the challenge of emotional restraint. The ability to pause in the heat of the moment, when emotions like anger, frustration, or hurt surge within you, demanding immediate expression. But by choosing not to react hastily, you prevent the risk of escalating the situation, of saying something in the heat of anger that you'll later regret, or of making the conflict worse than it needs to be. A swift, emotional response often lacks perspective. It's shaped by the intensity of the moment rather than the clarity of the full picture. Without restraint, we can inadvertently turn a small disagreement into a bigger issue. When we choose to control our reactions, we aren't suppressing our emotions or pretending they don't exist. We are acknowledging our feelings and making a conscious decision not to let them dictate our behavior. Emotional control is not about denying or ignoring your emotions. It's about managing them, allowing them to inform your response without allowing them to control it. By taking charge of how you respond, you create an opportunity for deeper reflection, a chance to rise above the immediate situation and engage with it from a place of strength, clarity, and wisdom. This is the essence of emotional intelligence. Not just understanding your own emotions, but recognizing that your reactions can shape not only your relationships but your entire experience of the world around you. Mastering the art of restraint involves the ability to step back mentally, even if only for a few seconds, to ask yourself, what is the best course of action here? It's the ability to pause and ask, is this reaction going to serve me in the long run? This brief moment of reflection is incredibly powerful. It ensures that your actions align with your true values, rather than being driven by the fleeting whims of emotion. This mental pause allows you to consciously choose how you engage, maintaining control over your decisions and preserving your integrity. A pivotal aspect of controlling your reaction is understanding the profound difference between responding and reacting. A reaction is often instinctual and immediate, driven by impulse and raw emotion. It comes from a place of defensiveness or hurt and tends to be unfiltered, sometimes leaving a trail of regret in its wake. In contrast, a response is deliberate. It is measured, thoughtful, and considers the long-term consequences of your words and actions. A response allows you to maintain control of the situation, offering a chance to reflect on the most appropriate course of action rather than succumbing to an emotional outburst. Choosing to respond rather than react doesn't mean ignoring the disrespect or allowing yourself to be passive in the face of mistreatment. It means you are deciding how to engage, focusing on protecting your integrity and emotional well-being, instead of letting the moment dictate your response. By mastering this, you shift from being reactive, which often leads to regret and conflict, to being responsive, a far more powerful and composed position to occupy. When someone disrespects you, they are often seeking a specific reaction. Their words or actions are designed to provoke you, to trigger you into a defensive posture or an angry outburst. They want to see you lose control. But by exercising restraint, by controlling your reaction, you deny them that satisfaction. This shift in dynamic is crucial. It allows you to remain in control of the situation, maintaining the upper hand. Instead of allowing their disrespect to dictate your emotions, you retain control over how you engage with the world around you. If you are still watching this video and find these lessons useful, please comment number 1 below to let me know that you are still watching this video with me. And don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel. When we react impulsively, we hand over control to the person who has disrespected us. In that moment, they are the ones dictating the flow of the interaction. However, when we take a step back to breathe, assess the situation, and then respond with calm and clarity, we shift the balance of power back to ourselves. We no longer allow the disrespectful behavior of another to lead the conversation. We are now in the driver's seat, steering the interaction in a direction of our choosing. One of the greatest advantages of controlling your reaction is that it prevents escalation. Disrespect, when met with immediate emotional responses, can quickly spiral into a heated argument or even a full-blown conflict. By pausing to control your reaction, you create the space needed for de-escalation. You're signaling that you are not interested in confrontation or conflict, that you won't be drawn into unnecessary drama. This creates a calm space in which reason and understanding can prevail, rather than emotion and chaos. This level of self-control protects not just your peace of mind, but also the stability of your relationships and your reputation. By choosing to control your reaction, you convey a powerful message of maturity and emotional strength. It demonstrates that you are capable of managing difficult situations without allowing your emotions to dictate your behavior. This ability sends a clear message that you are grounded and resilient, qualities that others admire and respect. This doesn't mean you are indifferent or uncaring. Far from it. It means that you prioritize thoughtful, measured responses over hasty, impulsive reactions. In both professional and personal settings, this kind of emotional intelligence and self-control can earn you the respect of others. People notice when someone remains calm under pressure, and they often look up to those who can manage their emotions effectively. These are the individuals who seem to have a steady hand amid turmoil, and others tend to gravitate toward them for guidance or leadership. On the other hand, individuals who consistently react impulsively to disrespect are often seen as volatile, unpredictable, or difficult to work with. Such behavior can alienate others, complicating relationships and creating unnecessary tensions. Controlling your reaction allows you to maintain focus on what truly matters. Disrespect, while hurtful, is often a distraction, a momentary setback that pales in comparison to the larger goals and purposes you may be striving toward. By responding with poise, you not only preserve your emotional well-being but also keep your energy directed toward what truly contributes to your long-term happiness and success. When you give in to emotional reactions, you risk losing sight of the bigger picture. In these moments, you're pouring energy into something that doesn't serve your long-term interests or goals. By choosing to control your reaction, you protect your focus and stay on course, regardless of temporary setbacks. You don't let a single moment of disrespect or a fleeting insult derail your progress. This ability to stay grounded and move forward with purpose is especially critical in high-pressure environments like the workplace, where maintaining professionalism and focus can be the difference between success and failure. Reacting emotionally to every slight or insult can be mentally and emotionally exhausting. It drains your energy, leaving you depleted and often filled with regret. Instead of getting caught in the storm of negativity, controlling your reaction helps conserve that precious energy. You decide where to direct your focus, allowing you to stay centered on what truly matters, without being pulled into unnecessary emotional turmoil. Over time, this builds emotional resilience, strengthening your ability to navigate difficult situations without becoming overwhelmed. It's important to recognize that controlling your reaction doesn't mean ignoring the disrespect or passively accepting mistreatment. It means that you choose when and how to address it in a way that aligns with your values and long-term goals. Sometimes, the best response is silence, standing firm without engaging further. Other times, a calm, assertive conversation to set clear boundaries may be necessary. The key is that you're not letting the disrespect dictate your response. You are making a conscious choice about how to proceed, staying true to your principles rather than reacting purely out of emotion. At the core of emotional restraint is self-respect. When someone disrespects you, it can feel like an attack on your worth or dignity. The instinctual response may be to defend yourself, to lash out, or to retaliate. But true self-respect comes from understanding that your worth is not determined by someone else's behavior. It means recognizing that how you respond to disrespect says more about your character than the disrespect itself. Self-respect is not about allowing others to walk over you or diminish your value. It's about refusing to let negativity or toxic behavior pull you into a lower state of being. When you respect yourself, you understand that your identity and worth come from within. No external words or actions can take that away. Disrespect may sting, but it doesn't define who you are. Disrespect often reveals more about the person delivering it than the one receiving it. People who lash out in a hurtful or demeaning way are often projecting their insecurities, frustrations, or pain. By understanding this, you can avoid internalizing their behavior and remain rooted in your sense of self-worth. Self-respect also involves knowing when to walk away from negative interactions. Silence in the face of disrespect isn't an act of submission, it's an act of self-preservation. You're choosing not to engage in a battle that will drain your energy and take you off course from your bigger goals. In moments of disrespect, silence can be one of your most powerful tools. It sends a clear message. I value myself too much to waste my time and energy on someone who doesn't recognize my worth. It communicates strength and clarity, saying, I know who I am, and I won't stoop to your level. Respecting yourself means having clear boundaries and standing firm in them. Disrespect is often a violation of personal boundaries, and while it's essential to assert those boundaries, doing so doesn't always require a verbal response. Sometimes, the most powerful way to assert your boundaries is by simply walking away from the interaction or disengaging from the negativity. This isn't about tolerating mistreatment. It's about refusing to allow someone else's toxic behavior to dictate your emotional state. It's about choosing peace over conflict, clarity over chaos. A significant part of self-respect is the ability to manage your emotions in difficult situations. When faced with disrespect, it's easy to feel a rush of anger, hurt, or defensiveness. But when you respect yourself, you recognize that reacting emotionally often does more harm than good. It can lead to rash decisions, regrettable words, and escalating the conflict unnecessarily. Self-respect means stepping back, taking a deep breath, and considering the situation from a place of calm. You ask yourself, is this worth my energy? Will reacting at this moment make me feel better, or will it pull me into a negative emotional space? Most often, the answer will be clear. Staying composed and moving forward with dignity is the more powerful choice. Self-respect is about choosing the battles that truly align with your values. There are times when standing up for yourself demands a direct response, but not every slight or insult warrants your attention or energy. By respecting yourself, you become more selective about where you invest your emotional resources. You don't allow minor disrespect to derail your focus or pull you into unnecessary conflict. Instead, you reserve your energy for situations that genuinely matter, those that align with your bigger goals, your values, and your purpose. Disrespect, though hurtful, can often be a distraction, and self-respect is the lens through which you filter what is worth addressing and what is best left ignored. Finally, self-respect involves practicing forgiveness, not necessarily for the person who disrespected you, but for yourself. It's easy to dwell on moments of disrespect, replaying them in your mind and wishing you'd responded differently. But self-respect requires you to let go of these thoughts and offer yourself grace. You understand that no one is perfect, and not every situation will be handled flawlessly. What matters most is that you continue to carry yourself with dignity, even in the face of challenges. You forgive yourself for any perceived missteps and focus on maintaining your sense of self-respect moving forward. Self-respect is an embodiment of resilience, a fierce and unwavering belief in one's worth, even when faced with life's harshest storms. Those who truly respect themselves acknowledge that disrespect is an inevitable part of the human experience. It is something we all encounter at some point, a cruel reality that has the power to wound and diminish. Yet, instead of allowing this mistreatment to break them down, these resilient souls rise above, using each instance of disrespect as an empowering reminder of their untapped strength. They see these moments not as personal attacks, but as opportunities to reaffirm their value, to reclaim their inner peace. Disrespect becomes a test, a challenge to remain rooted in their core values, to maintain their calm amid chaos, and to respond from a place of deep authenticity and self-assurance. Over time, this resilience builds an unshakable inner strength, a wellspring of fortitude that makes future challenges easier to navigate with grace, dignity, and unwavering composure. Self-respect, at its very core, is contagious. When you stand tall in your worth, radiating dignity and self-assurance, others cannot help but take notice. People who carry themselves with true self-respect naturally command the respect of those around them. Their very presence sets a standard, a quiet, unspoken declaration of how they expect to be treated. They do not tolerate disrespect or allow themselves to be subjected to negativity, setting firm boundaries that protect their emotional well-being. Through their actions, they teach others how to treat them. By embodying self-respect, they demonstrate that they will not stoop to engage in the ugliness of disrespect, but will instead preserve their peace, protecting their energy with grace. Over time, this unwavering commitment to self-respect cultivates healthier, more balanced relationships, filled with mutual understanding and reverence. Self-respect is the foundation of long-term emotional well-being. Reacting to every insult, every slight, or every unjust criticism is emotionally exhausting. It drains the soul and leaves you constantly on guard, perpetually entangled in battles that do nothing but diminish your inner peace. When you respect yourself, however, you establish powerful emotional boundaries that safeguard your mental and emotional health. You realize that your peace of mind is your responsibility, and you will not allow others to control it with their words or actions. You hold steadfast to your worth, knowing that it is unshaken by the negativity of others. By cultivating self-respect, you preserve your sense of inner tranquility, regardless of how others may behave. Choosing your battles is perhaps one of the most valuable skills you can develop, especially when confronted with disrespect. Not every insult, every jab, or every unkind word deserves a reaction. Knowing when to let things slide and when to rise above petty provocations is a sign of maturity, emotional intelligence, and self-mastery. Engaging with every slight, no matter how small, only drains you, pulling you into unnecessary conflict that detracts from your greater goals and values. The wisdom in choosing your battles lies in recognizing that not all conflicts are worth your precious time, energy, or emotional investment. In life, you will encounter people who will test your patience, intentionally or unintentionally pushing your buttons and trying to provoke you. If you were to respond to every single one of these moments, you would find yourself in a constant state of defense, consumed by anger or frustration. This endless cycle would leave little space for peace, joy, or personal growth. More dangerously, it would distract you from what truly matters: your passions, your goals, your dreams. If you are still watching this video and find these lessons useful, please comment number 2 below to let me know that you are still watching this video with me. And don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Choosing your battles is not about avoiding conflict out of fear or apathy. It is about discerning where your energy is most valuable. It is about recognizing that not every disrespectful remark or action demands your response. Some people, deliberately or unconsciously, seek to provoke you, to drag you into their vortex of negativity. By choosing to walk away, to remain silent, you make a profound statement. Your peace of mind, your emotional equilibrium, is worth more than engaging in a futile and toxic argument. In this decision, you reflect a profound understanding that some battles are simply not worth fighting. By walking away from those conflicts, you reclaim your power, preserving your mental and emotional energy for the things that truly matter. Choosing your battles is a deeply intentional act, one that requires a profound understanding of the situation at hand. Disrespect can take on many forms, some subtle, like a careless, thoughtless comment, and others harsh and direct, like a personal attack aimed at your very soul. In these moments, the key question becomes, does this truly matter in the grand tapestry of life? Will engaging with this person and reacting to their words serve any purpose, or will it merely fuel the fire of conflict, leaving you emotionally drained and unfulfilled? More often than not, the truth is that reacting will only prolong the negativity, entangling you in a cycle that saps your energy and peace of mind. By choosing to remain composed, calm, and centered, you protect your inner strength, saving your emotional resources for the battles that genuinely deserve your focus and attention. Choosing your battles also requires you to delve deeper into understanding the motivations behind the disrespect. It's important to remember that sometimes people lash out because of their pain, frustration, or insecurity. Their actions, though hurtful, may be a reflection of their inner turmoil rather than a personal attack on you. In these cases, responding with anger or bitterness only magnifies the conflict, drawing you into a toxic cycle of escalation. When you take a moment to pause and evaluate the situation, you give yourself the invaluable opportunity to discern whether the disrespect is truly intentional or if it stems from a deeper struggle within the other person. This shift in perspective enables you to decide if the confrontation is worth engaging in or if it's better to let it slide, allowing the moment to pass without further harm. Choosing your battles is a demonstration of emotional intelligence and remarkable self-restraint. It requires a high degree of self-awareness to recognize when your emotions are triggered, and it takes an immense amount of strength to resist the urge to respond impulsively. Emotional intelligence empowers you to see beyond the immediate sting of an insult and instead, to consider the long-term consequences of your actions. Will responding to the disrespect lead to a positive resolution, or will it simply escalate the conflict, leaving both parties more entrenched in negativity? When you possess this level of insight, you can act not from a place of immediate reaction but from a position of clarity and wisdom, understanding that the best course of action may often be silence or disengagement. In many instances, remaining silent or walking away is not only the wisest choice but the most powerful. It prevents the situation from spiraling out of control, keeping you grounded in your peace. There is a practical aspect to choosing your battles as well. Life demands that you invest your emotional and mental energy in the things that truly matter, yet when you engage in every petty conflict, you deplete your resources. You have only a finite amount of energy to devote each day, and if you squander it on every minor insult or insignificant slight, you'll find yourself emotionally exhausted when it's time to focus on your true priorities: your personal growth, your relationships, your passions. By choosing your battles wisely, you ensure that your energy is reserved for the endeavors and people that truly align with your values and contribute to your well-being. In any relationship, whether professional, familial, or personal, conflict is inevitable. Disrespect may surface in moments of misunderstanding or miscommunication, stemming from differences in perspective or emotional triggers. However, if you respond to every perceived slight, you risk creating an environment of constant tension and strife, potentially undermining the very relationships you cherish. When you choose your battles, you show that you value the bigger picture, that your connection with others is worth more than engaging in petty arguments over every trivial disagreement. This approach fosters healthier, more resilient relationships because it removes the need to constantly prove yourself or be right. Instead, it cultivates a sense of mutual respect and understanding, where both parties are free to grow without fear of unnecessary conflict. That said, choosing your battles does not mean turning a blind eye to all disrespect. There are indeed moments when it is necessary to stand up for yourself, assert your boundaries, and demand the respect you deserve. If the disrespect is ongoing, harmful to your well-being, or directly undermines your self-worth, it becomes essential to address it. In such instances, speaking up is not an act of retaliation, but an act of self-preservation. By asserting your boundaries, you send a clear message about how you expect to be treated. Even in these more challenging moments, the key is to approach the situation with composure and clarity, avoiding knee-jerk reactions and instead, responding with a calm strength that comes from a place of confidence and self-respect. Another critical aspect of choosing your battles is recognizing that some individuals will never change, no matter how much you engage with them or attempt to correct their behavior. Some people are simply predisposed to conflict and perpetually disrespectful because it is ingrained in their nature or a defense mechanism they rely on. Trying to engage with these individuals often leads to a destructive cycle of conflict, draining you emotionally and contributing nothing of value. In these cases, the most powerful response is to walk away. By disengaging, you make it clear that you will not waste your energy on people who are not interested in meaningful dialogue or growth. You free yourself from the shackles of their negativity, protecting your peace and your emotional well-being in the process. As we wrap up, take a moment to reflect on everything we've discussed today. We've delved into the art of choosing your battles, the importance of understanding disrespect and emotional intelligence, and the incredible power of self-respect. So, what have you learned so far? Is there one key takeaway that stands out to you? Something that you'll carry with you and practice in your own life? I'd love to hear your thoughts. Comment below with one thing you've learned and how you plan to apply it to create more peace and growth in your life. If you like this video, please leave your comment below, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our YouTube channel for more insightful content. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.